Lord's servants in the first century, the Apostle Paul, wrote these words to a church, to the church of the Colossians. And just listen to this, concerning our Lord Jesus Christ. Listen how the sacrifice of Jesus Christ is tied into all of this. Two short passages from this same book. He, Jesus Christ, He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by Him, the Lord Jesus, all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through Him and for Him. It's the Lord Jesus. And He, the Lord Jesus, is before all things. And in Him all things consist. And He is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead. We're thinking about today, right? Jesus, the first to rise from the dead, never to die again. That in all things He may have the preeminence. Now listen to this. For it pleased the Father that in Him, Christ, all the fullness should dwell. And by Him, Christ, to reconcile all things to Himself, by Him, whether things on earth or things in heaven, ready? Having made peace through the blood of His cross. Amen. And you, listen to this result, ready? This is what Jesus paid for. And you who were once alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now He has reconciled in the body of His flesh through death, which we remember now, to present you holy and blameless and above reproach in His sight, if indeed you continue in the faith, grounded and steadfast, and are not moved away from the hope of the gospel which you heard, which was preached to every creature under heaven, of which I, Paul, became a minister. And then just a short passage in the very next chapter, Paul says this. In Him, Christ, you were also circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, by putting off the body of sins of the flesh, by the circumcision of Christ, buried with Him in baptism, in which you also were raised with Him through faith in the working of God, who raised Him from the dead, which we observe today. And you, being dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, He has made alive together with Him, with Christ. Amen. Having forgiven you all your trespasses, having wiped out the handwriting of requirements that was against us, which was contrary to us. Ready for this? And these are all the laws and everything that we could never keep. And He has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the cross. Yes. Having disarmed principalities and powers, He made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them in it. Hallelujah. This is what Christ accomplished when He sacrificed His life, when He gave His body, and He shed His blood, and then ultimately rose from the dead. And we remember that together.
Yeah.